I called my son and left a message on Sunday. He called me back the next day. Hey, Mom, he said. Got your message. How you doing? Thank you for the birthday wishes. And you know what was so strange is that you and Dad both said the same thing. And I said, huh? Birthday wishes? Oh, no. What I mean is that both of you said happy birthday. Today is just like the day you were born. Now, I've been estranged from this man, his father, for 15 years, and I have to say I was really surprised that he could remember 33 years back to the birth of our son. Well, I said in my thoughts, it was a beautiful day. Just like his birthday this time. It was June, and the sun was sparkling in such a way you just wanted to grab it up. The air was soft, like a mother kissing, or I would kiss his cheek. I remembered all that, and I'm surprised his father did too. And my thoughts are not collecting today. Well, he continued on, and I replied, yes, beautiful day. He continued on and said, yes, it was a gorgeous day. He reminisced about visiting friends and working on a project, and yes, there had been a cake, but those are experiences I wasn't a part of. So I then was thinking, I don't remember whether he was born on a Saturday or a Tuesday or a Friday or a Sunday, and I really had to think twice. 33 years back, what year was he born? Well, I do remember a few things that are remembered because of markers. Markers are what I need in order to remember those special days and years of life's significant events. I remember the dinosaur birthday cake was for a 10th birthday. And when we had that beach party birthday, it was the summer of thunderstorms and we were rained out. But we collected a whole pail full of crayfish. I remember that birthday because of water and the crayfish. So markers are important. In the big scheme of things, this numerical system, this static thing of placing numbers to dates is important. But I don't think on the personal level, that intimate level, that it's very important at all. Hey, Mom, tell me about my birthday, I remember asking. And she replied, well, you were born early in the morning, and I don't really remember because back then they knocked us out. And another time when we were driving through Schenectady, she would point out the very room that she stayed in at Ellis Hospital. And that was nice, okay. Well, yeah, you were born early in the morning, and I remember standing there in the doorway saying to Dad, you guys have got to get moving. I need to get to the hospital. And Dad was really, really annoyed because you'd broken up the poker game. Dad played poker? My father played poker. Wow. That one was a hard one to remember. Because he never did when that's nothing I ever recall. Certainly not being part of my birthday. How would I know? Well, how do we learn things? I do remember in grade school learning the calendar. It was the time that we had class in the basement of a church. And there were 4 or 5 seats to a row, facing a wall, no windows. I sat with my shoulder towards the metal cement post in the back with my back to the vinyl dividing wall. And in front of us on the blackboard was chalked out 2 columns. January, February on to July, and August, September, October, November, December. This was the calendar. We were grade school kids, and we were supposed to learn this. Everyone was to write down the months of the year as it was on the board and learn the calendar. That was it, just words. And dutifully, we all sit and do that. So that is how the calendar was learned by me, and that's how it was programmed in my brain. It was programmed January to July, August to December. But something's always been missing with that kind of system. That pattern just hasn't worked for me, because July is left out there floating as a September month, a summer month all of its own. And I've never been able to connect up where winter is, because December was down here in January or something. Then when the new year comes, you flip clear over to January on the same calendar, and I never get to a new year. That makes sense. But, well, wasn't the new year somewhere between August and September, because that's where school started? Now, that was only compounded in my brain when I became a school teacher and had 3 kids. I'll never get over it. Yeah, yes, the year starts September 1st. Call it that. Well, that's how I learned what the calendar was all about. But on that day, I remember looking 2 rows over. I remember studying Joseph. Joseph had tan skin and a full face with dark, dark eyes, and he sat bundled in a brown sweater because that darn old basement was always just unpleasantly cold. And Joseph was staring at these 2 columns. Joseph never talked, and the teachers just kind of left him on his own. Over there, in the back, along the jogging wall. We were taking our usual hike through the village, up over the village bridge. Joseph was behind me, and for some reason I just knew he had just stopped. So I stopped too, and I looked at him, and he was staring down over the cement guard wall of the village bridge. And I looked down to try and catch what he was studying, to see if I could fathom what he was looking at. The water was high and really wild as it flowed past underneath us. It wasn't coming that way, it was going this way, towards us, under the bridge. And there were pink flowers and nightshade with a bright red berry growing among these jagged, retaining rocks. I couldn't see what Joseph was staring at. And then just abruptly, he looked at me directly and intensely. And I remember feeling just awash with sadness. That's all I remember of that particular incident. I don't remember the date. I don't remember the year, and in the scheme of it all, it's not important to anyone. Maybe it's important to me. Well, I can go back to thinking about what my mother had said, and I'll go back and recount that there's something special, I believe, in everybody's birth date. Certainly, recounting about the poker game wasn't anything that meant a lot to me, in a sense, except of a wow, Dad. But my daughter's birthday, I remember, her birthday was pretty special, all her own. And that's because by the clock, she was born 1 hour into her own day, 1 hour beyond her father's birthday, 2 days beyond her grandfather's birthday, and 5 days beyond her cousin's birthday. 1 hour into the day, and it was beautiful. The neighborhood was dark and still. The night birds were murmuring in the bushes. And I remember a bright moon, not full moon, but a bright moon coming up at my left shoulder, and it was gentle and constant. And that moon helped pace me on the way to the hospital to what was a fast and precipitous delivery of 17 minutes. Yeah, 17 minutes, a bright and shining moon. My daughter is my shining night child. Shine on, August moon. I remember her musically. Well, the moon phases are important, and we have given the 12 months of the year, well, like they came about, I think, because of the moon phases. We have the full moon. Every culture that I've ever read about has designated some kind of name to the full moon. And I finally learned that I guess the new moon is where you get 2 full moons in 1 month's time. But all this numbering stuff is kind of arbitrary to me if all you need to do is look at the moon. And these names are pretty interesting. You have pink moon and strawberry moon, the wolf moon and the starving moon, and like I just said, blue moon. Hey, that's kind of cool. Never been able to find all those names together, but that's something to work on. It would be interesting to do. And it's awareness that I'm now gathering. Certainly my children don't have a conscious awareness of their birthing, their birthday. The natal moon. There's another name for you. The natal moon. They don't have a conscious awareness of it, but I do because of my careful observance when they were born. Now, I'd rather give my kids the words of their birthday than that numerical date on a page. I believe that when Joseph turned to me that day, he was conveying a message. He was conveying a message of a different way of knowing, a different way of having knowledge. And this different way of knowing I've learned about. I've learned to embrace it. I've learned to appreciate it deeply. Joseph was born knowing this. He was born knowing because he was Oneida or Onondaga Native American. He didn't need to talk to our systems. He didn't need to learn our systems. So I can look out now, having celebrated my birthday this winter, and say, I've experienced my birthday. It was the time of the popping trees.